Hello, I'm smiling today because I got a thing that's good. It's called a Bren gun. Shoots a British 303 caliber. It was their section level machine gun, a light machine gun I suppose. And I had this made up from a demilled kit that was put back together in semi-auto configuration. Now my name's Brendan and I always love Bren guns and everybody always calls me Bren for short, so I'm pretty pleased to have this, to tell you the truth. Now, first thing we always do is to show that the gun is safe. So my trusty assistant will stand up here, follow me around. Because we're in California, we can't have a gun with a pistol grip like this unless the magazine is affixed such that it can not be removable without the use of a tool. So if you come back around here, you can see there would usually be a paddle that comes up like this, so you press forward to release the magazine. But what they've done here in this case is drilled a hole in it. I insert my tool, which is just a piece of steel rod. A bullet tip would do fine as well, and whatever you want. So we press it forward, bingo. This is in California a 10 round California legal magazine as well. The maker was nice enough to engrave that on the side. So we want to show that it's clear. If we look down here, we can see the bolt. It's the bolt dropping out, coming out of lock. We draw to the end, and I can feel the chamber. There's nothing in there. That's clear. So this gun was made by SMG, Smith Manufacturing Group in Texas. I believe they're in Decatur, and they did a pretty nice job. The way these come into the country is the receiver is chopped in 3 locations, usually here, and usually here. And once it's been chopped 3 times like that, plasma cut is what the ATF specify, I believe, it's no longer considered a machine gun. So what they then do is they weld the receiver back together. And if you come in closely here, you can actually see the bluing is never takes perfectly to a weld as it does the surrounding metal. You can see as you move along here, you can see this line right here, slightly lighter. There'll be one chop cut, and you got the other one. See this line right here? That's the other one. And then they have one towards the front. I can't even really see it, but it's there. They do a very nice job putting these back together. Under semi-auto use, there's no real concern about it coming apart, and the weld is probably just as strong, if not stronger, than what was originally there. It's been re-blued. This one is a Mk1, which is the first version of the service Bren. You can tell it's got this rear drum sight. You can come around here, we'll show you how that works. Numbers on the back here denoting the yardage. There's a cam in here, and as you twist this up, you can see, okay, we're now set for 500 yards, 600, 700. As you do that, this back comes up here, goes all the way up to 2,000 yards. And as you can see, to line this up with the front, you would have to tip the muzzle up more and more and more. Now, because you'll also notice that the sights are offset, the front sight's offset from the center of the barrel. That's because you're going to have your magazine blocking your view right down the barrel. This gun was made, it's called a Bren gun because it was made by the the Bruno factory in Czechoslovakia. They came up with the design and they worked with the Enfield ordnance plant in England, and they put their heads together and came up with this. It was probably one of the best light machine guns of the Second World War. 30 round magazine. As I said, this one's been limited to 10. So let's go through this. From the front, we've got this, used to be a flash hider, but the guy in Texas drilled out the top here to turn it into a muzzle brake. These are slightly slant drilled, such as to minimize the recoil and keep the muzzle tip down. His reason for doing that was if I ever wanted to make this a featureless rifle, meaning have an actual real magazine detachment here, I would have to take away this pistol grip or put a fin on the back or something like that, and I couldn't have a flash hider. So let's come down here. This is the gas regulator. You'll see that there's 4 particular settings. Each one of these has a hole on it. Well, not a hole, it's an indentation showing the size of the gas port that's selected. and when it lines up to this. So in this case here we have the largest gas port selected, so that will give you the most amount of gas back. Would be, you want to basically have this dialed in for the least amount of gas, that way you don't beat up the action too much. There's a whole massive reciprocating rod and bolt right down here, and I'll show you. The rifle was built to be transported through very dusty locations and things like that. It's got on its magazine cover, you close up the magazine well on the front, on the top, and on the bottom there's another, this, by the way, the jack's at the bottom. You can close up that and it's completely dust free. So it's, I think this was an early Bren actually, with the hump that we have here at the back. Next thing, let's break this down. It's a quick detach barrel. When you're firing fully automatic for long, you know, if you're in Arnhem, Holland or whatever in the Second World War, you swap out your barrels as they overheated. You wouldn't want to destroy them. So you just pull this clip up here like this. It's a bit stiffer than that to actually do. I actually untucked it a bit. And you just take the barrel forward like that. You can see here on the back, you get these threads that engage in here, and as you push this down like that, then it locks around. So here's the gas port right here, and here's the adjustment lever on the side where you can select which of the 4 settings you want to use, depending on how fouled up your action is, or you know, maybe if you have a weak charge in your hand loads or whatever. Next thing you do to take this gun apart is take off the bipod by twisting through 90 degrees and put it down like that. This particular bipod, you got adjustable legs so you can set it for height. Pretty heavy thing. Beat a one over the head with that, no problem. The next thing we want to do is separate the upper and lower receiver. Correct me now if I'm wrong, YouTubers, if you know any better than me. I'm just going with what I would think to do. I'm by no means an expert on this. Let's wind this down. I'm going to get beat up here later. So you've got this captive pin here on the back, which has the front and rear, which holds the top and bottom receiver. So let me try and push that out. There we go. Pull that forward. And they come apart just like this. This is the lower receiver and fire control group, and this is the upper receiver. We can pull out the bolt and piston like this. Like I said, it was very meaty. So here's the piston, here's the bolt. You can see how it locks like that, cams up and down. There's a spring-loaded firing pin in there. Let's take the bolt out. The piston. A very meaty, very meaty extractor, which I just pulled off there, and a spring-loaded firing pin. These can be modified, I believe. I think you just really have to modify the extractor to shoot a much cheaper round, such as 7.62 54, or, which is the Russian round for the, you know, Mosin Nagant originally, but it's in just about every one of their machine guns and all that kind of good stuff. So we'll come back to that. It's a bit fiddly to do. Looking on the inside of this to see, you can see some discoloration where the re-weld was done right there. You can also see they added some material such as not to facilitate the use of a full automatic bolt. In other words, never reconvert this back to a machine gun. But nicely done job by all accounts. Let's open the top here, show you the extractor. You can see this here, as the bolt travels back, it hits against that, and it knocks the round down and under. So that's my Bren Mk1 M. Let me know what you think. Bye bye.